Alright, so this is round 3 of making a video about the flooding problem I had on this car. This is a 2011 Hyundai Elantra Touring, SE trim, not really relevant here, but still. So 15 years old, has like 220,000 miles on it. And recently I had an issue where the carpets, hold on, let me unlock it. The carpets in the back seat, right here, were damp. And there was water on the WeatherTech mat in the back of the car too, somehow. And I thought maybe the roof was leaking, but I checked. Nope, it was not. So basically what happened is water was getting in, and it was gathering, pooling down in the spare tire well. Like, when I found it, I think there's probably 3 inches in it. It was like up to here. So pretty full. And it was sloshing around and coming up like all the way like through here, getting on the mat up top because it was splashing, going down there and collecting in the carpets, making them all wet. It was a whole mess. So I tried a bunch of things. I thought at first it might be like the drain plugs in the bottom being worn out, or maybe the something on the taillights leaking. Did a bunch of tracking. I couldn't figure out what it was. So, mind you, this was a lot of water coming in too. If I drove on the highway for like an hour on a rainy day, there would be like, not like a ton, but there would be like a noticeable amount of water. There'd be a good bit pooling down here, kind of splashing around. It wouldn't be deep, but there would be a good bit, to the point where, yeah, if I drove for a couple of days, it would fill up the entire well, make it basically a mini pool. So, I couldn't find anything online about this car having particular leak problems. But I did find a video, actually multiple videos, about the 2010 or so Honda Fit, which is a hatchback just like the Elantra Touring. And the issue that they had was that the seams by the trunk struts, so these two guys right here, would crack. Now, this isn't a structural thing. It's just where the multiple panels join together. It's not the welds. It's just something they use to fill in the gaps, and it just cracks and water can get in. So, as you can see right here, I checked, and there's one here, same on the other side, so there's 4. All 4 of them had cracks, like running all the way across. I'll put pictures up, but they were completely cracked through. And what ended up happening is if I pour water in, and I can show you actually, when rain hits this car, it'll run down into this seam and run down these channels, and that just drains out the bottom of the car. Here's a quick demo. Just pour a little water in here to simulate some decently heavy rain. It'll go in, it'll kind of just run down the side, right out the bottom. So what was happening is that these cracks here, the water would just basically seep right into them and just kind of pour out on the inside. So it would run down this pillar, and then right here, it would just drip out, like a lot. So you'd have water pour out into this area. It would pool here, and eventually that would fill up. So it kind of spill around over here and come down and just start gathering here. Now, I will say, it happened on both sides for me, but this one was by far the worst. Even though the cracks in the seams were on the other ones, this is the one where the water was getting through. So if I drove on a rainy day, rain would fall on the roof of the car, go in here, the gasket, totally fine, would do its job, would redirect the water, and then it'd get to these seams, and it would just pour right out. So the fix, as you can see, is just get some sort of sealant. Body panel sealant would be ideal. I just used some RTV I had on hand. I would probably recommend going with the actual body panel sealer, but again, I'm just MacGyvering it. So what I did is I just put a thick coating all over the seam from start to finish. I actually lifted this bit off, so it fully coated it, both here and here, and poured some more water on it, like dumped water on it. Like, I emptied this whole bottle out just to kind of simulate a worst case scenario. And a couple times it did leak again, in fact. But as you can see right now, this paper towel here, which I put to gather moisture, is completely dry, even though I just dumped water on it. So all I did was coat both of these, pour water on them. If water came out, after letting it, okay, just to be clear, I put this on, let it sit for like 10 hours, I'd say. That's probably overkill, but I wanted to make sure it got solid. Poured water over it, and then if water came out down here, I put another coating on. I just kept repeating this until it stopped. So I did it there. On this side, you can see I did it here. And that bottle, if I just, like I showed, simulate some heavy rainfall, you can see the water's flowing right down there. In fact, we can pour it right on. This is probably far worse than it's realistically going to get, but I wanted to make sure that in an absolute worst case scenario, there wouldn't be any water getting in. So just pour it right over. You can see it's draining out on the bottom. Let me just come back in here. That paper towel is completely dry. It does kind of look on camera like there's a wet spot right here, but I'm touching it and I promise you it is dry. Looking up here for drippage, there isn't any. It is dry. Ignore the rust. That's probably because it's been doing this for a while, but yeah, I'm feeling this with my hand. There's no water here. This isn't wet. This isn't wet either. It's all checking out. But yeah, I just kept doing this until I was pretty confident that it wouldn't be a problem anymore. And yeah, so as far as I can tell, that fixed the majority of the flooding. I still haven't done the long-term testing. I'm going to put the car back together, probably minus the top parts, just put the trim back on so it's not vibrating around. And I'm just going to drive the car, and I'm going to check back here every now and then to make sure there isn't water on here. If there is, I'll probably make an update. But as far as I can tell, these 4 seams were the problem. I am also going to be replacing the clips here. I don't think these are the problem, but I figured I might as well make sure that everything's fine. So as you can see, I taped them up. Didn't change the problem because it was the seam cracks. But yeah, so if you have one of these cars, especially if it's a higher mileage one like mine, and you're getting water in the wheel well, I would highly recommend that you take the taillights off your car. Just check here. It's not a difficult fix. It's like maybe 10-15 minutes, and just put on the coating if it's still leaking. Just thought I'd make this video to share the problem and the solution I found, because I know from talking to multiple touring owners that this is not a single thing. I've heard other people having the same problem, but no one's been able to find a solution. So yeah, let me know if this worked for you, or if you find a leak somewhere else. I'm still not sure if I solved the problem for myself, so if you have any other potential ideas, I'd love to hear them. But yeah, peace.